So in the last question, we looked at finding the volume of a triangular prism. In this question, we want to find the surface area. Okay, so the surface area of a three-dimensional shape, like a prism, is the combined area of all of the sides around on the outside. So the easiest way to think about this is imagine taking our prism, like we had in the last question, and unfolding it, okay, so that it was sort of so it was flat and sort of all the shapes sort of lie in the ground. And then we can identify what shapes are making up our triangular prism. So we've got two triangles here, one that represented our base, one that represented the top of our triangle, and then we've got four rectangles that represented the sides here. And because you got this diagram in front of us, we're just going to copy the measurements from our three-dimensional drawing over here over to our unfolded drawing, or our net of this thing. So we know that each side in our triangles is 4 meters. Okay? And this one's the same over here. And we know that the length of these rectangles is going to be 10 meters. Now I've got three rectangles here. For this first rectangle, it's pretty easy to see that its width here is 4 meters because it's got these two triangles on either side of it. What is going to be the width of this second rectangle down here? 4 as well, right? Because all four sides of this triangle are exactly the same. So this one is going to be the same as well, 4 meters. So to calculate the surface area, we just have to find the area of each of these shapes that make this up and add them together. So what we've got are we have our rectangles here. We've got three rectangles that make up the sides. So let's see. How do we calculate the area of these rectangles? Well, let's see. The area of a rectangle, length times width. We know the length of our rectangles is 10. The width is 4. So each one of these has an area of 40 meters squared. What other shapes are making this up? Oh, we've got our two triangles here that make up our base and our top. We know from the previous question that the areas of these are, what did we calculate in the last question? 6.92 meters squared. Okay. And we did this by taking one of our triangles, dividing it in half, turning it into a right triangle there, and then calculating what the height was. Now we need to put all these things together. So I'll just say SA here for surface area. How many rectangles do we have? We've got three rectangles. 1, 2, 3. These are all the same size. So we multiply by 3. How many triangles do we have? We've got one for the base, one for the top. So we need 2 of those. And we've got 6.92. And so we can just combine all this together. 3 times 40 gives us 120. 2 times 6.92 gives us 5.84. And then we add all this up, and we get 125.84. And what's our units here? Let's see. We're talking about area. So this has got to be meters squared. Now, for this triangular prism, we had all three of our sides were exact same length. That's a good point. I don't know how I did that multiplication. Okay, so let's fix that. Okay, so you do 2 times 6.92, what did you get? 13.4? 84. Excellent. And then you add the two of them together, and what do you get? Meters squared. All right. Much, much better. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay. Now what I was saying was this method here of taking the length, the size of the rectangle, multiplying by 3, works in this case because all 3 of our rectangles are exactly the same size. That's not always going to be the case. Sometimes you have to find the area of each one of the rectangles separately and then add them together. All right.